Breakers doing what he needed to do to keep Pittsburgh's hopes really still fueled. As we look at the matchup here at heavyweight, it's a top 12 matchup. Pitzer against Trephan. What do you think here?
Well, Pitzer's a little bit undersized in this match, but he moves so well. He looks for those low attacks, and he rides well on top. So not the biggest heavyweight you're going to see, only coming in at 220.
220, yeah.
So Trephan's got some weight on him, but Pitzer's he's so quick with those leg attacks. He wrestles like a lightweight, and that makes for some matchup problems for some heavyweights. Trephan, however, very athletic, and I think you're going to see a close match here. Now, in terms of the duel, Pitt's back is up against the wall. They need to win these last 3 matches. There is an avenue for them to win if they only win 2, but then they would need some serious bonus points somewhere. So if NC State, I think their best 2 chances of icing this duel is in this heavyweight match and in the 125-pound match. NC State's in a good spot because you only need 1 win. Pittsburgh, you need 3 to clinch that share of the ACC title. So huge team score implications here. I think you're going to look for probably a more low-scoring match. Pitzer's good at those low attacks and keeps moving his feet, but Trephan moves incredibly well for a bigger guy.
Pitt coming off a loss on Saturday, 16-15 to third-ranked Iowa State on criteria, and it came down to Pitzer's bout. He gave up a takedown with 10 seconds left. That's how close Pitt was to a top 3 victory. It would have been their biggest. And you see what he did in high school, 3-time Pennsylvania state champion. They pulled his red shirt. They think he can compete for a national title this year.
This is the year for Pitt. He needs to be out there wrestling at the national tournament for them. They've got an older team. You know, Bonacor's in his last year. Filippi's in his last year. You know, got to give yourself the best opportunity to bring home a team trophy, and they have a team that can do that if they go on a run, and Pitzer's one of those guys that they would look towards to making an All-American run. He's beaten some really heavy hitters in this heavyweight division. Trephan's been one of those guys that has improved vastly from last year to this year, moved all the way up to number 12 in the rankings, and he's another one of those guys where going to be in the mix with things at NCAAs. Maybe not able to compete just yet with those top-level guys, but he's good enough to find a spot on the podium. Both of these guys are in that position.
Trephan trying to circle. It's defended well. You know, Pitt coming just that close to upsetting Iowa State. You know, they're ranked 17th coming into tonight. NC State coach Pat Popolizio saying this is a top 10 team. You know, they had some stumbles early against Maryland and West Virginia, but this is a lineup that is really tough.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the year, you look at their lineup and you see so much potential. Like, well, this is a really good team, and then they take some head-scratching losses against Maryland and West Virginia. You're hoping, like, will the real Pitt Panthers please stand up? And they did at Virginia Tech, and they did against Iowa State. I think you're seeing the real vision of this team. I think Coach Gavin wants has them right where he wants them, right where he wants his vision of this team to be. They just took a few stumbles to get there, and you know, it's a long year. It really is, and especially with that mix of really young guys like Pitzer, like Augustine, and then those really older veterans.
Niesenbaum of Duke and Hunter Katka of Virginia Tech also ranked at this weight. Both of these guys have beaten Katka already.
Don't move. Cover and hold to the whistle.
So that first period, Pitzer was more the aggressor in terms of leg attacks. Trephan had a couple good angles to go for those re-attacks. Where Pitzer's really good for this bottom position is looking for those reversals in order to get him on top. He's a very good top wrestler, so he's going to constantly look for those sit-out turn-ins, those switches, where Trephan's really good at this big mat return. You know, against some other guys, you know, he'll mat return and pull him right back to their back. Pitzer obviously did his homework and kept his chest forward.
He's got the scalp.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to pull that on him after, you know, some film reveal.
Especially, you know, as you said, Pitzer's only 220, so it's not a problem of, you know, can Trephan do it? He's done it against much bigger wrestlers, but Pitzer, I think, ready for that move.
Yeah, and heavyweight's such an interesting phenomenon. Though you got some guys that are 220, you got some guys that are 265, some guys that are 280, pushing that 285-pound limit. You've seen a recent trend, lighter, more agile heavyweight. Look at a guy like Nick Wisdowski. Look at a guy like Kyle Snyder. You know, Gable Stevenson, they're not tipping the scales towards the max. Pitzer is a little bit lower than those guys, though. I think, yeah, you want to have that ability to be able to be agile, move well. But I would like to maybe see Pitzer at like 235, 240. You know,
that's the sweet spot.
In my opinion, I think so. For a guy that his height, I think he can put that weight on. And I think that was the only reluctancy with the coaching staff of Pitt this year. It's like, he's not that big. He's done really well, though. You just want to see him maybe be a little bit bigger. And here, Trephan's in a good spot to get to, but Pitzer's showing his scramble ability, his flexibility. What Trephan needs to do is get his left hand high. He's wrapped around 2 legs, I think. He's just got his head in a tough spot. Or my bad, Trephan would need to get his left arm all the way out and wrapped around the left leg. I think you're going to see a stalemate position or end of the period.
So a bit of action there to end the second period, but no takedown. And now we'll see Pitzer on top. As you said earlier, you said as a freshman, bottom is a little trickier, but you're a 3-time state champ. You're used to this.
Yeah, I think just being from Pennsylvania, you're used to good guys on top. He's a hammer on top, and so whenever you're really good on top, that usually means that you're pretty good on bottom too, because you know what guys are looking for. And now he's in his position where, hey, a minute of riding time gets you that point. Gets you seals the match for you. Might not have to do it on takedowns, but Trephan's pretty good on bottom. And Pitzer's looking to ride here and just kind of collect legs and salt this match away. If you're Trephan, you got to take a page out of Bonacorsi's book from last match. Get your elbows in, get your weight back, stand up to your feet, make Pitzer return all that weight that you have. 13 seconds of riding time here for Pitzer. He would need another 47 more to get that riding time point.
Trephan gets out. And goes right to work.
Pitzer's good here. Trephan's been really good at those re-attacks. What Trephan needs to do is get his weight back, get his head in the middle. Now he's playing into where Pitzer wants to be and scrambling from these positions. Kind of takes away all the weight that he's giving up whenever he can scramble like this. But Trephan's doing a good job getting height. He wants to pull that bottom leg, the leg that's taped up. If he could pull that leg to him, he would put Pitzer in a pretty bad spot. But Pitzer's doing a really good job of grabbing Trephan's wrist and just is controlling Trephan from that position. NC State staff is encouraging Trephan to snap and chase. Snap and chase. I think that puts him in his best position to score. If he opens himself up to an attack from space, I think that gives Pitzer some ability to re-attack. They're looking for more of a conservative approach to get that too.
Two of our last 3 bouts have gone to overtime. Are we in line for another? Trephan trying to make something happen late. And runs out of time.
Great attack there by Trephan, just runs out of time. You got to think, I hate saying this because I sometimes will be wrong about it all, but it looks like Trephan has more energy here. Pitzer's low attacks haven't been there. You got to just be aware if you're that aggressor and you've had some momentum, don't walk into a shot, because you have that, adrenaline pumping. You don't want to overdo it. I think Trephan's best bet is to still snap and score. Here he's in a good position. He's got a lot of weight. He's got to push away the knees, break this lock, and get that head in the center. Pitzer just really strong here, picking that leg up.
Broken that lock. He's got the leg.
Wow. Really impressive balance for the big guy there. And you got to think, does that exchange take it out of one of those guys?
Trephan.
Oh my goodness.
What a scramble. Is that 2? No, they say off the mat. And there comes the challenge break from Pat Popolizio.
So
what a scramble, Hayes.
This is the new age heavyweight. I will say in that position, Trephan gets to the double, and I think he just overdoes it here. Yeah.
Kind of overshot it.
Yeah, he's got that adrenaline pump, and you're in position A here. And you always think if I just run forward and slam into the mat, well, you don't really with those big guys. That just creates so much momentum sometimes. Whenever he gets in on this double, I would have rather saw him just sink your hips, try to get him down to the mat. There he sticks his head up, and Pitzer just rolls through. So this position outside, I don't think you're going to see two. There is reaction time here. So whenever you can have a screenshot of the guy with clear advantage, but you do have some grace period to react, and that's why you're not seeing a two there.
So no two, but Trephan tells the crowd to get back up.
Both guys have been in good attacks. Both guys have been offensive.
Now it's Trephan's turn to grab the leg.
2-point takedown.
Pitzer.
The big man does it for the Wolfpack.
An overtime win for Owen Trephan. And that will go a long way to securing the duel.
So here he does a really good job of taking him back, getting his weight on his heels, gets him to his butt, drives through, doesn't overdo it this time. The big man does it for the Wolfpack. A very impressive performance by both guys.